My name's Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Since everything's been changing up on my channel recently, I might as well just start to just be a little more open and free with what it is that I want to say. Something about me getting into dog training was about making money. And once I realized that it's something that's not really making me the money because of the way that I do things with working with these animals and just coming up with different theories and testing out different theories and trying new stuff, I realized that's why I just pretty much quit dog training. And that's why in reality, I'm just gonna start to just be able to speak whatever I want to speak, making these videos to get some people thinking and not just try to tell you the way it is. I want you to figure that out on your own, the same way that I'm out here just testing and challenging some stuff to figure stuff out. So what I want to talk about today is something that is going to challenge, I believe, a lot of people that see these dogs a certain way. Something that I said months and months ago. I think it was right when I got this Dalmation, so it was about January, February, March time frame. Months ago, I said, you give to these dogs, and these dogs will want to give back to you. I questioned that, and I challenged that, my own self saying that, and hearing others say that. And I did some things and did some tests and did some stuff that at the end of the day, a lot of people just aren't going to agree with doing certain things because you live your life. I'm living this life in a way of, in reality, being a scientist, being an experimenter. I'll do things that I don't feel comfortable with to see what's going to happen from it, what's going to go down. I'll do things that I don't agree with just to see, is this actually going to work and manifest to be something? Or is that just something that just is an absolute dead end? So when I stated that concept of the dogs the word I want to use here is please us. And that's what a lot of them are. And that's why certain ones are going to say better. I don't even want to use that word better, but I'm going to use the word easier to work with. Such as like these German Shepherds and these Border Collies, these Australian Shepherds, and a lot of these, in reality, herding style of dogs. They're very eager to please. But I don't believe that comes down because they actually want to do anything for us. It's because they're only doing because of what they're getting out of it. Not because they just want to just like be all on us and just help us and guide us and do things. It's all about what can they get. Because the moment that you stop giving them what they want that makes them want to please you is the moment that they stop wanting to please you. The moment that they turn into an absolute nightmare. This is something that I did a little test with my Shepherd here. It got a little warm out, but it is what it is this summer. But I don't care. Every year before, I always still just take them out. Before I used to walk 7 days a week, sometimes even twice a day. But this summer, I didn't take this dog out for nothing. So he's always been pretty decent. The day I took my e-collar off him and I just started to let him just be more free and let him do more of, okay, well, come on. Let him do more of what it is that he wants to do. I started to realize and see a dog get better and better. That's the concept of a trainer that in reality I was bickering back and forth with, that I listened to him and I challenged it and I started to see. The dogs are only listening because you're allowing the dog to express control over you. So that's why the dog is perceived to be listening more to you. So I tested these theories out. And there's something that I realized. When I walk this dog, because he's right back in tune with me again now. When I walk this dog at least 5 days, we're back to 5 days now because it's getting cooler out. It's a waste of my effort to come out here to walk 3 miles. Like we're 3 miles into a 12, almost 13 mile walk today. That's the only time I make it worth it to drive this far to come out here. And so on the days that it's just too hot, I just let him walk around the house for a little bit. But I didn't take him on these adventures where he's able to just smell and do and just do what he wants to do. He loves to smell and pee on stuff. I don't know what it is about the peeing on stuff, but it's just what he does. When I let him do that, hey Kai, I speak to this dog and he'll do everything that I'm looking for. Everything that I say to him. I mean, it's creepy, almost flawless in a way. That's why with this dog at this point, I don't need to put pressure on him. But there's something that I can say, this is the part of a lot that I do say. It's because you're giving that dog its outlet. You're giving a dog the work that it needs. You're giving a dog the exercise. That's why it's listening to you. But in reality, I just have to throw a challenge out to my own self and anyone else. He's not caring about doing nothing for me because I'm allowing him to be able to do what it is that he wants to do. The moment that I stop letting him do what he wants to do, like this summer, I didn't take him out for I mean, from, was it June, July, and August? I took this dog out maybe max, once a week, max. He was barely out. And then if I was out, it was for just a couple of minutes, and it was right back in, right back to the house. We didn't do anything. And this dog was, I'm going to say, one of the most disagreeable dogs that I was working with for a while. I would say, Kahi here, and okay, it's just like that. Anytime I say his name, he's 100% tuned right now. But I'll say his name, and he had no care to want to be next to me. I put him on a leash, and he had no care to want to walk with me. He was just pulling like crazy, trying to go smell everything that he could, trying to go pee on everything. He had zero cares to listen to a single thing that I had to say. So in reality, me and him have had years of rapport, of me taking him for walks in this exact same place out here, doing what it is that we're doing. Out of all those years, the moment that I stopped giving him what he said wanted was the moment that he stopped listening to anything that I had to say. Everything started getting more challenging, all the way down to, not even gonna lie, I started getting nervous with giving him his food because he started to look at me a little bit like, you better give me that chicken, buddy. You better give it to me. He stopped looking at me in a way of just, thank you, I appreciate you. It just turned into, you better give it to me. And that is a concept to me that, depending on the way you're looking at it, it seems like it's all right. But in reality, when I'm just challenging my own self here with this, the dog doesn't care about me. It only cares about what I do. It doesn't care a single thing about making me happy. It only cares about making itself happy. It doesn't care about doing anything for me outside of doing what it is that it wants to do. And when it's finally able to do what it wants to do, it's gonna wanna said, listen to what it is that you're saying. Not because it's being said, I don't like using these words, but in control of under you. It's doing it because of it's just in his best interest, knowing that it's basically like, I don't know what other words to use here, but just bullying you around, telling you what to do. So it's like, I'll give you a little bit because I get to do whatever the heck I want to do. And in some people, in some situations, that's where you can get into a very, very sticky situation, into a very dangerous situation in reality, because the dog is now said running the show. And if you don't know how to deal with the dog running the show, you're going to end up with a dog that's going to start guarding you from your own stuff. A dog that's going to start to just be an absolute nightmare. But there's something strange about that when I say that, because when I allow the dog to do what the dog wants to do, I'm not in any danger with this dog. Is incredible today. Incredible. I'm not in any danger of all in any situation, with anything, with any person, with any other dog, with anything, by allowing him to do what he wants to do. And me just understanding and accepting and knowing the fact that when I let him do what he wants, we're good. And I believe that that's where a lot of folks are struggling right now in life. Because not only just these animals, but we as humans are also this exact same way. We're only doing things for what we want. And then when that other part decides that it doesn't want to do what it said used to do or anything about it anymore, you're going to run into that scenario that the other thing is just going to want to leave. It's not going to want to be there anymore. It's just not going to care. And when I really just watch these dogs, it just, come on guys, it just really lets me realize more and more about just stories in my Bible. It lets me see why and how and what we are all about as a people. Because that is just, in reality, to the core of what life is out here. Nature just is so amazing that it doesn't lie. And when you want to try to put a story to it, that's where you're making the lies, as opposed to just realizing what is just the truth of what's going on. There's always somebody that says, like, anyone could see me with both of these dogs and say, wow, I want a relationship like that. But in reality, this relationship that I have with these dogs is based on me allowing them to do whatever the heck they want to do. Straight up. I mean, they got obviously limits. She can't still go off, chase no deer right now. But when she has a desire to chase, I have games, I have stuff to give to her so that she can do it. That's why she doesn't do it, because I give it to her. Not because I'm saying not to do it. That's the part that, man, I watched, I don't know why. I got flooded with videos on the Instagram the other day of these, of seeing shepherds and stuff that are like chasing stuff. And they're explaining how they're allowing the animals to chase to get them to stop chasing. And I'm like, it's true, but that's false at the same time. You're not convincing the dog not to do it. You're giving the dog a chance to be able to do it. So you're not actually like I don't like this word, but it's the best word to use. You're not actually controlling the dog from making a decision not to do it. You're just saying, hey, don't here, we could do it over there. So you're not actually, like said, training the dog. You're just giving the dog a different outlet to be able to have that. And that's the part with me on why I'm for sure is I'm done being a dog trainer, because I don't train the dogs. I allow the dogs to do whatever heck they want to do. And once I allow them to do that, they just start to just pay attention to me. And someone from the outside, Kahi, man, when I take him out for walks every day, this boy looks like a professional. He looks like I put like thousands of hours in like obedience training and stuff like that with him. He's so sharp, he's so fast, he's so on it. And that only comes down because I let him come out here and do this. If I don't, this dog is a nightmare. And someone on the outside could say, man, I want a relationship with that, like my dog. I want my dog to be able to listen to me like that. And not really understanding like what's actually going on here. And I can say the same with us getting married, husband and wife together. You see a couple and you're like, oh, I like that. Not knowing that more than likely, this is the way that I really truly see on how relationships can only truly work with human to human. With animals, we just let them do what they do and they'll listen to us. But with humans, we have to do the exact same thing on both sides. You can't just have one that's giving and one that's taking. They both have to be constantly 100% giving at all the times for us to be able to maintain a 100-year marriage. The moment that someone decides I don't want to do that anymore, that's the moment that you're going to start to fail. And in reality, like language that we have as humans today, everyone would suggest never to do that. But also at the same time, see, as most people are suggesting today, is don't even get married and don't this and don't that because it's a bad thing, it's no good, because we're not willing to just give and allow them and whatever we're working with to just be themselves and just do what they want to do. It's so risky. But that's one thing that I realized with testing this theory with working with these dogs. It's risky for me to allow these dogs to just essentially straight up do whatever they want. That's why at the end of the day, these farm dogs, my goodness, they are the best dogs, because most cases they're out moving the animals. They're out just forgetting of moving the animals. They're just out on the land hanging out, and they're living what they want every day, all day. That's why I could take any border collie, bring it to my house, give it 3 days, and that dog's going to transform into being the nicest dog that you've ever seen, because it's able to finally do what it wants to do, as much as it wants to do, however it wants to do, and it's going to just relax and say, okay, we're good. But the second that I don't let it do what it wants to do, there's the second that dog's going to want to start snapping and barking and snarling and growling and showing teeth at me again. The second that I do that, and it doesn't matter that I've done it for 5 years, 10 years even, I got to keep just giving more time with all these little experiments that I do. But give it more and more time, realizing that it doesn't matter that I've been taking this dog for 3 years out here, and he started to get better and better and better. The moment that I stopped, that instant, he just looked at me and said, I don't care about you no more. Let me go find the next best thing now. I'll go over there. I don't really care to want to listen to you. And that's the moment that I got to go right back to. I got to like put a, say, e-collar on the dog again. Ophi, I got to put some training back on this dog again to get him to start listening to me, as opposed to just allowing him to be able to just do what it is that he wants to do. Sorry, this part right here is kind of tricky, because every time, I don't know what is the Dalmatian. We go from an open field to the treed area. There's always a deer right here. As you can see her, she's on a mission for the deer right now. I don't know why, but they stay right here, like right between that open field. And we get in here, and then I'll see like a dozen of them just start running. So now she's primed that every time we go through those transitions, she's like, I'm about to go chase me a deer, because there's about to be one here. Even though she doesn't, she's probably chased 2 deers in her lifetime with me out here. Well, before I never gave her a choice, she was always on leash. But today I can see when she builds to know we're about to get there. But here's the problem. Here, this is a classic example right here, right now, that I'm about to say. She's not going to chase that right now, because she knows she's going to be able to do it on our run back. We're going to walk out here for 6 miles to sit down, take a water break, and then we're going to run 6 miles back. And the whole time she's running back, she's going to be on that harness. She's going to be pulling me, and she's going to be running. And every deer, every squirrel, every rabbit, everything, she's going to be able to chase. So the only reason that she's not doing it is because she's able to express it doing whatever she wants. And that's the only reason she's gonna stop. Not because she's trained not to do it. It's because she's able to do it. And that's the part that I think is challenging, because it takes the control aspect away. And it puts the control in the dog's mind, where the dog is in control. That's the part with me that, I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with a lot in my life, is I need everything to, straight up, the word I like there is obey. You better obey me, or else. Or else. I was strong. I was rough with that word, or else. When I said or else, everything's about to be done at that moment right there. Anything is open and available at that time. Sorry, this is a hard section right here, big hills. But anything, and it's just it's hard to understand how to be able to work through that. And it's just something that, I don't know what y'all watch and study and pay attention to, but I watch weird stuff. And again, I'm stuck on these addiction intervention things. Some shows that used to be, man, YouTube is getting interesting. They got anything you want to see on YouTube now, all old TV shows and everything. But I'm watching old TV shows about the families that are trying to get their son or daughter into treatment because they're an alcoholic or a meth addict or whatever. There's something. And when I listen to it, I hear the same similar type story over and over again. I lived a life that was hard, and my parents were drug addicts and alcoholics, and I didn't want my kid to be around that. So I did this. I put them in this type of school. I put them around. This is my life that I keep hearing people say. And I'm going to say, thankfully, that's where I can say, as God intervened in my life, that I'm not that far off compared to, I was headed that same direction, that my parents would have to have an intervention for me because of what I was doing and where I was, because I was in a really, really bad place. And I hid myself so no one could see it. And I didn't need to beg people to get what I needed. And that's another scary situation that I'm in, and I've always been in, not always, but been in for a while, that I don't need y'all's money. I got it and do it myself. And but they would always talk about this level of, they try to control the kid to get the kid away from, basically in reality, who they are. And the more and more that they kept doing that, the more the kid would just have this explosion. It's like a crazy same stories, that the kid was cool, the kid was fine, they hit teenage years, and then upper teenage, like 16, 17, the kid it goes off the cliff. They used to have a cigarette here and there, now they're smoking a pack a day. They used to drink a bottle here and there, now they're drinking, or I don't mean a bottle, but a beer here and there, now they're drinking 2 or 3 bottles a day. It goes off the cliff, because that control that we're trying to put on, now when the kid finally just doesn't ever get a said chance to do what it wants to do, it's going to come out and it's going to be crazy, because we didn't allow it the entire time to do what it wanted to do, because we were scared of what would happen. And that's something in this very extreme case with what I'm working with right here with these dogs right this second. 99.9% of y'all would be scared to allow your dogs to do what you see me doing in my walk and talk videos. You would be so terrified. But for me, I don't know why, because this is the part that, of course, at first I was, but then when I started understanding dogs a lot more, I started realizing that I can't shelter them. I can't hide them. If my dog wants to chase, I gotta let them do it. I have to give them that chance. If they want to explore, I have to let them do it. I can't put them in this little box because I'm scared. Because what starts to happen is then that's when you start to get that extreme amount of pushback, because they're not doing what they need to do. And that's the part of, someone may not agree with what I'm about to say, but it is what it is. Every single human being on this, Ophi, that's one thing that scares me about this dang dog. She looks at cliffs and she wants to be like 1 paw off and 3 on, looking down. And I'm like, this is a 50-foot cliff, girl. Like, let's get the heck away from the edge. But it doesn't scare her, but that's still things I'm working on. But it's allowing the dogs to be able to express. But the main thing I'm gonna say is, like, pretty much every single human being has, is what I believe. I'm just gonna use straight up language. I just don't care anymore. But these dogs are narcissistic. These dogs are all about themselves. These dogs only care about themselves. They only care about their own needs. They only care about what they want, what they desire. They can care less about us unless we are giving them what they want at all times, at every moment. The second that we stop giving it to them is the second that they stop paying attention to us. And that is a trait that is in 100% of human beings as well. Some people just push it more than others, but every single one of us has that, because we all have something in us deep. Come on, guys. a deep desire that we absolutely have to be able to have so that we can be able to live a healthy, clean, I don't want to use that word, but normal life. We have to have that in us. And the problem is when you don't get to be able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and something is suppressing you and shutting you down from being able to do that, that's where we're having the biggest problems ever. So as much as I've been questioning, even just this past few days, real heavily, I even been saying it. I said it out loud a few times to my dogs. I looked at them dead in the face and I said, y'all don't care about me. You only care about what I do for you. You don't care about me. You only care about what I do for you. And the second that I stop doing this stuff for you is the second that you're not going to even be around me. You're going to be running away and try to go find somewhere else. And I believe that, unfortunately, to be 100% true. That's just what the dog is. That's just what they're all about. And the only reason that they're there is because of what I do. And that to me is something of a very interesting kind of like life lesson of an opportunity to be able to deal with, of learning how to let the control go, learning how to see something else, needing something, and being able to just work with it, knowing that you're not going to get nothing back in return. Nothing. That's the part with at least humans. This is why you can have an amazing 100-year marriage. You know, nothing's perfect. You're going to have days of a little difficulty and a little challenge. But if both of y'all are looking at it the same way as that, what can I do for you today to make your life easier? Both of y'all at the same time. Not, oh, you do this because of what your gender is and you do that because of what your gender is. No, you do this because you want to do it, because you want to see the best in each other, and you do that every single day. You're going to see something absolutely amazing. But these dogs, you'll see something, what I'll say is amazing, but not anything that's going to be able to potentially help you be better in the end. And that's the part where we're struggling, because for me, my border collie can make my life easier. These dogs are the shepherd there. He's really good for. I just keep him around in reality for just in cases. He's my hunting dog. He'll find me anything that I need. If we need food, we eat. Like, this dog will find me food. And Dalmation is for pleasure in reality. She's a working animal because, I mean, granted, the type of walks that we do and go, this isn't just for your average dog, but she's for pleasure. Whereas like my border collie, he does work for me to move the animals when I need them. So in the end, it seems like he's giving back to me. But in reality, I'm only just putting him in the situation to allow him to do whatever the heck he wants to do. When I let that boy just go out in the front, I have to be out there with him. No, he just doesn't do anything by himself. Go out in the front and just move chickens around. He doesn't kill a single one of them, but he'll move them all around. If they're next to the coop, he puts it in the coop. And then he just goes on. He could do that for hours and hours. And the more I let him do that, the better. I mean, way better this dog listens to me. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, because I test it with him, with how he interacts with Kai, with this dog, my shepherd back here. He doesn't really care for him all that much. But when I allow him to be able to run those chickens, man, he his best friend. He don't care. He's like so indifferent. But when I don't let him run them chickens, he doesn't listen to not nothing, but nothing that I say. If I say no, stop, down, get out of that, there's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. I could literally see it in his expressions. But when I let him just go out and just do what he wants to do, man, I have no complications with this animal. So yes, he does give back in a way to be able to help me, but it's only because of what we're breeding them to be able to do that it seems like he's giving to me, but he's actually not. He's only just in it for, what can I get? What can I get? It's something that is in reality been challenging me the past couple of weeks, of just really heavily stuck on that in my brain. Every time I would look at my dogs, just straight up, I would just, even in my mind, I try not to say it out loud. Try not to say too much out loud. I just don't talk to my dogs. I don't know how to explain that another way. Like, literally at the house, I don't speak a single word to my dogs. I don't talk to them. I barely touch these animals. I don't touch them. I don't talk to them. Only time that we interact is when we're doing stuff. Like, we're doing stuff like this here. I don't do the, I guess, what normal people do, because at the end of the day, folks, I know I talk about dogs and I appreciate dogs. I love dogs, but I don't like them the way that, like, most every single person I've ever known likes dogs. They're animals, and they're animals to me. And I'm not gonna look at it like, oh, it's my little fur baby and it's my child. It's a dog. It's a disgusting. I've seen the most nastiest stuff all the time. This Dalmatian threw up a little bit of her chicken last night. Oreo came up and ate it. That's disgusting. These dogs are nasty at the end of the day. So I'm not about just all up in my stuff and all up in everything. Like, y'all get the heck off me. And I don't talk to him. I don't touch him. And I just would walk by him and look at him and just have this look of just, and say in my mind of, you guys don't care about me. Y'all don't care about me. Man, I prefer it if y'all didn't drink out of that. Come on. We got water up here. Ophi. I appreciate that, man. I just look at him all the time and just, y'all don't care about me. If I stop taking you for a walk, you're not gonna listen to me no more. If I stop letting you smell and sniff, you're not gonna listen to me no more. If I stop letting you chase and do what you want, you're not gonna listen to me anymore. If I decide to stop giving you, I mean, this is how I know this to be weirdly like true. As much as I don't want it to be, it just is. The fact that the dog just doesn't care. Because I know so many people's households I've gone into, and you have like feeding regimen schedule things that you have to do with your dogs for your dog to eat it. You give them the kibble, and then you have like these little, I guess we call it toppers. You got toppers you put on it. Some of y'all put a little cheese. Some of y'all do a little, I mean, I've seen it to the point of some of y'all got to put it in the oven and take it out as if you cooked it for the dog to eat it. Otherwise, I've seen dogs flip the bowl over. It's like, you didn't give me everything that I wanted, so I'm not going to eat that mess. When you give me what I want, then I'll eat it. That is an exceptionally a dog that is just exceptional in understanding it only cares about itself. It don't care about you. It don't care about you. And I see this with almost, I mean, every single dog that I've ever witnessed. And that's where dog training is very, very convenient, because it starts to strip that away of saying, okay, I don't want you to do what I want you to do. I want you to do what I want you to do. And that goes against what you want to do. So now I need a level of communication to be able to say to you, we're not doing that. And that's where, for me, unfortunately, but fortunately, I'm just done with dog training as a whole. I'm just shutting the website down. I'm taking the letters off the van. I'm out of it, because I understand a way of working with these animals that doesn't come down to having to smother the dog and try to get the dog to do something different. So for me, at the end of the day, why do my dogs listen to me? Because I have paired myself with the dogs that I need and I enjoy, so that I don't have to worry about doing anything extra. I paired myself with a dog that likes to sniff and search, so I got a shepherd to be able to do such a thing. I paired myself with the Dalmation because I love to run and chase. I don't know what it is, but I just like me some running. And I paired myself with that dog. I'm pairing myself with these animals to be able to allow them to be able to express themselves, be able to control me, but yet still at the same time, they will listen to me. That's the part that I believe is like almost magical in the end of the day, but extremely dangerous in the wrong hands. That's why for me, in reality, someone did say that to me. What I talk about doing is dangerous for a lot. That's true. And that's why I can't talk about sharing a method that could put people in potential danger. If you are already in that danger and you don't know where to go and you tried everything else, I will still probably have a little thing out there for that type of very sticky situation, such as dog fighting in home. Obedience doesn't work with that. I've never seen it work. And there's another way and another approach. And another approach is scary as all heck can be. But when you're in that situation and you're willing to do what it takes, you're going to see extreme results. And I know how to deal with that, but you have to want it. You have to want it. You have to be in this for the long run. There's no chance in your brain where you're saying, I want to give up, I want to get out of this. As soon as you do that, that's when you're going to lose this whole scenario. But outside of that, how to get your dog to loose leash walk, how to get your dog to do what you see me do in my videos with how my dogs are. What I talk about is, I've said this before, it ain't going to work for you. It's not going to work. You're not going to get anywhere. And if anything, you're going to see things only get worse, because it comes down to being a specific type of person on this planet that wants to view the world completely differently, not in the lens of what can you give to me, but what can I give to you? Thank you. Ophi. When I really just, I've been sitting on this concept this past month of just questioning, because this past month is when I've been taking the shepherd out back 5 days a week minimum and seeing the difference. I'll just look at him and I'll just say, Kai, you just do not care about me. You only care about what I do. I look at this Dalmatian and say, you do not care about me. You only care about what it is that I do for you. And the moment that I don't do that is a moment that you are just, you are a horrible animal in reality to be around. When I started taking her out for these longer runs now, well, now that it's getting cooler out so we can actually do it, and I just let her chase and chase and chase on that harness, I just let her rip and get it. I mean, she is just so happy, so excited, but in reality, she's expressing all of the control in a relationship in that situation. She's doing whatever she wants to do. And when she's doing that, and we're done after, I mean, it doesn't take her too long so they get her real tired. But if I go on a nice 12-mile run with her and let her do that afterwards, she's like the classic, what people call puppy dogs. She's on my side. She's on my hip. She's sitting on the couch next to me. She's like, she wants to just be all up on me. She's all on me, all on. She's just like smothers me. And I'm like, oh, if you get down, she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, get out of the kitchen. Oh, okay. She's just so extremely agreeable. But the only reason that she's said agreeable is because she's controlling me. She's controlling me, straight up. And all these dogs are controlling me. They're telling me what to do at every moment. They're telling me I want that egg. And I'm like, oh, not right now. And then if I don't give it to them, they just look at me like, well, forget you then. And then we have some sort of hostility going on right there. They're just telling me what to do all the time. That's really hard to just deal with and just in reality accept. But I've noticed that when I allow them to control me, I no longer have to control them. And I don't know how to explain that in any other way, but just saying that straight language like that. I let them control me, and I don't need to control them, and they just want to listen to me. I let them do what they want. When she's like, I want to chase, I'm like, okay, well, I got you. And today it takes longer for her to get to the point. It takes her more time to build and build and build. Like back there, I don't know how great you can see it, but when we went into that woods and I said, when I called her for that one time, I could see her starting to build. But even from then, it takes her a while. And then when I see she's building, like now, she's starting to build back up again. She's getting a little looking around. I can see the eyes going in her. She's studying and she's staring because she knows we're at that point now that we're about to turn around and she's about to get hooked up and she's about to be able to run and chase whatever she wants to do. She's controlling me. She's controlling me. She's telling me what to do. But yet, when I take this dog anywhere I go in public, everywhere, I put her on a leash, she's hanging out. She's a dog that everybody only wishes that you could have. And it's weird for me to explain how to get that without it sounding the way that it's just straight is. You want your dog to look good? Let it control you. Let it control you. Let it do what it wants to do. Obviously, I don't let it go do, obviously, like she loved to chase, but I don't think she liked to chase and kill chickens. I think she did it. She was killing them because she didn't know what else to do with all this amped up energy that she had behind her. Once I started letting her just chase and get it out, she stopped wanting to do that. I'm not gonna allow my dogs to just go bite people because they like to bite people. No, they're doing that because they have this amped up something inside that they need to get it out. That's why, again, I bring dogs to my house and they transform in very, very few days because I let them do what they want. I hook them up. I leave one of the dogs at the house. I hook it up to a harness. I bring it out here to the trails and I get it running. I get it running. And then that dog just looks back at me. He's like, wow. Like they've never been able to even consider possibly being able to do that. I open the door up. I let them go ahead and chase a chicken or three as long as they don't go to kill it. Because my free range ones are very easy to help dogs because they're smart. They can get away from the dog. And so it's hard, dogs don't go and just kill them right away. But the dog gets to do that and it's like, good, awesome, we're good to go now. And the dog is, I'm allowing the dog to control me. And it just stops and hangs out and says, okay, well, what are we doing next?